Orlando Magic versus Philadelphia 76ers. The Philadelphia 76ers aim to extend their unbeaten start to the 2025-26 NBA season as they host the Orlando Magic at Xfinity Mobile Arena in a key early-season Eastern Conference matchup. Philadelphia, sitting at 2-0 and atop the Atlantic Division, enters the game riding momentum and confidence, while Orlando, 1-2, looks to rebound after back-to-back losses that have dropped them to fourth in the Southeast Division. It's a meeting between an established contender, still adjusting to early injuries, and a young, rebuilding team eager to prove it belongs among the conference's rising threats. Philadelphia's offense has exploded out of the gate, averaging 121.0 points per game while shooting 46.5% from the floor and moving the ball fluidly at 28.0 assists per contest. Even with injuries to several key contributors, including Paul George, Joel Embiid, and Jared McCain, the Sixers have maintained balance through depth and timely scoring from their perimeter core. Orlando, meanwhile, is scoring at a respectable 110.0 points per game, but inconsistent defense and late-game execution have plagued the team through its first three outings. The Magic's 44.3% field goal percentage and 18.7 assists per game highlight their offensive struggles in creating efficient shots and sustaining rhythm. While there's no direct pitching duel in basketball terms, this game's tactical contrast mirrors a veteran-led contender versus an energetic but raw opponent. Philadelphia's half-court precision, driven by disciplined spacing and strong rebounding, 48.5 per game, will challenge Orlando's transition-heavy style. The Sixers' ability to protect the rim, even without Embiid, has been impressive, holding opponents to just 45.5 rebounds and 6.5 steals per game. Orlando, on the other hand, will rely on its athletic front court to attack mismatches and force tempo in transition, hoping to offset its recent defensive lapses. Offensively, Philadelphia's early-season surge has been anchored by balanced scoring and confident perimeter shooting. The Sixers' backcourt depth has stepped up in Embiid's absence, with veterans like George, out for this contest, having already established an efficient scoring foundation. In his place, younger rotation players have thrived under increased responsibility, providing a glimpse of the team's adaptability. Orlando's offensive hopes rest on its young core, led by Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner, though the latter's brother, Moritz Wagner, remains sidelined until October 29th. Banchero's combination of size and ball handling gives the Magic a dynamic playmaker, but he'll need support from the perimeter to keep pace with Philadelphia's offense, which has topped 117 points in both wins this season. Recent trends underline the team's divergent trajectories. The Sixers have won 2 straight, including convincing victories over Charlotte and Boston, while Orlando has dropped 2 in a row after a season-opening win over Miami. In those losses, the Magic's defense surrendered an average of 111.5 points, a troubling sign heading into a matchup with one of the league's more efficient scoring teams. Philadelphia's defensive communication and rebounding have been their backbone, compensating for their shorthanded lineup and keeping opponents under 116 points in each of their 2 contests. Injury concerns loom large. For the Magic, Moritz Wagner's absence weakens their interior depth, while Philadelphia remains without 4 key players, Embiid, knee, George, ankle, Barlow, and Watford, all expected back within the week. The loss of Embiid removes Philadelphia's primary rim protector and post scorer, but the team's fluid offense has compensated through ball movement and pace. Orlando's younger lineup will need to capitalize on those absences by attacking the paint and forcing the Sixers' rotation to overextend defensively. The X factors for this matchup revolve around pace, turnovers, and rebounding. If Orlando can dictate tempo and push Philadelphia into a faster game, their athleticism could generate open looks and second-chance opportunities. For the Sixers, execution in half-court sets and outside shooting efficiency will be decisive. Expect Tyrese Maxey to play a pivotal role orchestrating Philadelphia's offense, while Banchero's aggressiveness will determine whether Orlando can sustain scoring pressure. Ultimately, the Sixers' combination of depth, ball movement, and home court confidence gives them the upper hand. Despite missing stars, they've shown superior structure and execution, while Orlando continues to search for chemistry. Analytical indicators lean toward Philadelphia, which holds a 55.3% projected win probability. Expect a competitive game early, but the Sixers' late-game poise should prevail. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Philadelphia 76ers winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box. Boston Celtics versus New Orleans Pelicans. Two winless teams desperate for a breakthrough collide in New Orleans as the Boston Celtics, 0-3, visit the New Orleans Pelicans, 0-2, at the Smoothie King Center. Both squads have stumbled out of the gate, searching for rhythm and identity in the early days of the 2025 to 2026 NBA season. For Boston, the challenge lies in reestablishing itself as a top Eastern Conference contender despite early injuries and inconsistent offensive execution. The Pelicans, meanwhile, are battling through roster adjustments and injuries of their own while seeking to avoid an 0-3 start in the tough Western Conference. With both teams languishing at the bottom of their respective divisions, this matchup carries more urgency than the standings might suggest. It's about setting a tone before the season slips away. Boston enters this game winless through 3 outings, sitting last in the Atlantic Division and averaging just 105.5 points per game while allowing 113. Their shooting efficiency, 43.9% from the field, has been inconsistent, and their struggles to close out late-game situations have defined their early losses. The Celtics have also been without Jason Tatum, their franchise cornerstone, who remains sidelined until April with a significant injury. Without him, much of the offensive load has fallen to Jaylen Brown and Derek White, but neither has found consistent shooting rhythm. Boston's 17.5 assists per game reflect a lack of fluid ball movement, and their transition defense remains suspect, giving up easy points in critical moments. New Orleans, too, is seeking cohesion. Despite starting 0-2, the Pelicans have been slightly more productive offensively, averaging 119 points per contest and shooting 44.6% from the floor. Still, their defense has been porous, allowing opponents to dictate pace. DeJounte Murray's absence until January removes their premier perimeter defender and secondary playmaker, leaving C.J. McCollum to shoulder more creation duties. The front-court rotation is also in flux, with Carlo Matkovic and Yves Missy both listed as game-time decisions, while Kevin Looney remains out until November. These depth issues have forced head coach Willie Green to rely heavily on Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram to carry the offensive burden. Boston's recent form reveals 3 straight losses to Detroit, New York, and Philadelphia, games that featured lapses in defensive intensity and poor late-game execution. Meanwhile, New Orleans has lost 2 close contests to San Antonio and Memphis, both featuring high-scoring battles decided by execution in overtime and clutch situations. The Pelicans' offensive energy has been promising, but defensive rotations and rebounding gaps have cost them winnable games. Boston, for its part, has looked stagnant offensively in half-court sets without Tatum's shot creation, while their perimeter shooting remains under 35% through 3 games. Injury management looms large for both teams. The Celtics' lack of Tatum forces them to test their depth, with Al Horford and Kristaps Porzingis needing to anchor both ends of the floor. The Pelicans' injury list is longer. Murray and Looney are out, and Matkovic and Missy could miss time. If both sit, Jonas Valanciunas may see extended minutes, but that could also expose New Orleans defensively against Boston's stretch bigs. X factors could tilt this game in either direction. For Boston, Porzingis' 3-point shooting and rim protection could be decisive if he establishes an early presence. Derek White's ability to control tempo and distribute efficiently will also be crucial in keeping the Celtics competitive without Tatum. For New Orleans, Zion Williamson's aggression in transition and Ingram's mid-range efficiency are key to breaking down Boston's front-court defense. The Pelicans' bench, led by Trey Murphy III, may provide the energy spark they've lacked in previous losses. Ultimately, this matchup feels like a coin flip between two teams trying to shake off early-season rust. The Pelicans' home advantage and slightly more dynamic offensive rhythm give them a narrow edge, especially with Boston's star scorer unavailable. Expect a high-scoring contest with momentum swings and late-game drama. Both squads are still finding their defensive identity, which should open the floor for plenty of transition opportunities and highlight plays. The energy in New Orleans arena could prove pivotal as the young core feeds off the crowd's enthusiasm. Prediction: Pelicans 118, Celtics 113. New Orleans secures its first win of the season, while Boston's search for answers continues into November, leaving fans eager to see how they respond in their next outing. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is New Orleans Pelicans winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box. Phoenix Suns versus Utah Jazz. The Phoenix Suns and Utah Jazz collide in Salt Lake City on Sunday in a Western Conference matchup featuring two teams trying to find early season traction. Phoenix enters at 1-2, sitting 12th in the West after consecutive road losses, while Utah stands at 1-1 and 8th in the conference following a gritty early season start at home. The Suns, who boast one of the league's most explosive offensive backcourts, are seeking their first road win of the campaign. The Jazz, meanwhile, are looking to protect home court and build on a renewed defensive identity under their young core. This game offers a contrast of styles: Phoenix's fast-paced, perimeter-heavy offense against Utah's physical interior play and rebounding dominance. The spotlight is on the stars. For Phoenix, Jalen Green's absence due to injury leaves a scoring void next to Devin Booker, pushing the team to rely more on Kevin Durant's shot creation and floor spacing from Grayson Allen. Utah, missing Isaiah Collier and Georges Niang, still features a balanced attack led by Lauri Markkanen, who continues to anchor both ends with his 24-point average and improved rim protection. ESPN's analytics favor Utah slightly, with a 58.5% win probability, largely due to home advantage and Phoenix's inconsistent road form. Phoenix averages 111.0 points per game on 44% shooting, but their defensive lapses, allowing over 115 points in 2 of 3 games, have proven costly. Utah, meanwhile, posts 116.5 points per game while holding opponents to moderate efficiency thanks to strong rebounding, 49.7 boards per game compared to Phoenix's 44.0. The Jazz's ball movement, averaging 31.5 assists, has fueled their offensive balance, particularly with rookie guards showing poise in Collier's absence. The Suns' recent form raises concerns. After opening the season with a narrow home win over Sacramento, they've dropped 2 straight to the Lakers and Nuggets, surrendering an average of 131 points. Durant has been efficient, averaging around 27 points, but the lack of defensive cohesion and interior presence has haunted them late in games. The Jazz's recent loss to Sacramento was competitive, but their prior victory over the Clippers showcased how dangerous they can be at home when their shooting clicks and their bigs dominate the glass. With both teams trying to stabilize, energy and execution will be decisive. In the standings, Phoenix trails early Pacific Division leaders Golden State, the Lakers, and the Clippers, all at 2-1. Utah sits third in the Northwest, behind Oklahoma City and Minnesota, with a game in hand. Though it's early, both teams are aware that stacking wins in October often matters come April. The Suns' veteran-heavy roster can't afford to fall behind in the brutally competitive Pacific, while Utah's youth-oriented group wants to prove it's no longer rebuilding. Injuries could tilt the balance. The Suns are short-handed without Green's scoring punch and possibly Dylan Brooks, who is questionable with a minor injury. Utah will miss Collier's playmaking and Niang's spacing, testing their bench depth. The Suns may need more from Jusuf Nurkic inside, especially against Utah's relentless rebounding unit. Expect coach Frank Vogel to emphasize defense and tempo control to offset Utah's half-court execution. The X factors loom large. For Phoenix, it's Allen's perimeter shooting and whether Durant can dominate a road matchup against Markkanen. For Utah, it's their front court's ability to neutralize Nurkic and force Phoenix into contested jumpers. If Jordan Clarkson can rediscover his scoring rhythm and rookie Keontae, George pushes the pace, Utah could seize control. Conversely, if Booker gets hot early, the Suns have enough firepower to overcome defensive lapses and maintain composure through late-game pressure situations. Prediction: expect a close contest defined by shot-making, rebounding, and late-game composure. Utah's size, depth, and home court advantage give them a slight edge, particularly with Phoenix's backcourt short-handed and still adjusting to rotation changes. The Suns will keep it competitive behind Durant and Booker, whose scoring brilliance can erase deficits in a flash, but the Jazz's balance and discipline should ultimately tell. Utah's ability to generate second-chance points, control tempo, and utilize its bench, especially the energy of Keontae George and the rim protection of Kessler, could be decisive in crunch time. Look for a physical, high-possession battle with momentum swings. But the Jazz's cohesion and crowd energy should help them close it out. Utah Jazz 118, Phoenix Suns 112. Jazz protect home court to move above .500, while Phoenix continues to search for rhythm on the road. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Utah Jazz winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box. Portland Trailblazers versus Los Angeles Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers welcome the Portland Trailblazers to Crypto.com Arena for an early season clash between two Western Conference teams charting different paths. The Lakers, 2-1, 1-1 at home, are seeking to build momentum after a strong start, while the Trailblazers, 1-2, 0-1 away, aim to rebound from consecutive losses and stabilize their footing in the Northwest Division. Portland currently sits fifth in their division, trailing an undefeated Oklahoma City Thunder squad, while the Lakers, tied with the Clippers for second in the Pacific, look to tighten their grip on a competitive early race. The matchup offers an intriguing contrast, an established contender in Los Angeles facing a Portland team leaning heavily on youth and transition. For Portland, early season inconsistency has been defined by defensive lapses despite explosive scoring. The Blazers average a robust 126.5 points per game on 47% shooting, but have allowed too many open looks, resulting in narrow defeats. Meanwhile, Los Angeles has displayed better balance, averaging 118.5 points while limiting opponents with improved rim protection and disciplined rotations. The Lakers' veteran experience and depth have carried them through close finishes, most notably in a 127-120 win over Sacramento. Injuries could heavily shape the evening's narrative. Portland is still without Robert Williams III, knee, and rookie Scoot Henderson, ankle, both sidelined through early November, while star guard Damian Lillard remains out indefinitely. That leaves the offensive load to emerging scorers and perimeter shooters who must contend with the Lakers' versatile defense. Los Angeles, too, faces roster complications. Gabe Vincent is questionable, and rotation pieces Jackson Hayes, Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Adu Thiero remain unavailable. With Doncic sidelined until early November, the Lakers' offensive orchestration will again rely on secondary playmakers and front-court production. Portland's recent struggles are reflected in their form, dropping their last two games, including a 117-107 loss to the Clippers and a 139-119 loss to the Clippers shootout defeat to Golden State. Despite high scoring from their wings, defensive rebounding and late-game execution have faltered. The Lakers, on the other hand, have won 2 of their last 3, bouncing back from an opening loss to Dallas with victories over Minnesota and Sacramento. Their depth and adaptability have proven critical, particularly in games decided in the fourth quarter. Statistically, the Trailblazers outpaced the Lakers offensively with higher scoring output and assist rates, 27.5 to 25.5 per game. But Los Angeles boasts better defensive balance, averaging more blocks, 2.5, and stronger transition containment. Portland's offensive efficiency hinges on fast pace and three-point rhythm, while the Lakers' success flows from half-court discipline and inside-out ball movement. With both teams missing key pieces, bench performance may prove decisive. In the standings context, Portland desperately needs a win to avoid slipping further behind in the Northwest, already 1.5 games back of the lead. The Lakers, tied for second in the Pacific at 2-1, can keep pace with Golden State by defending home court. Early season records matter less for playoff seeding now, but these matchups often foreshadow the tone of future Western Conference battles, where a single victory can later determine postseason positioning. The X factors lie in tempo control and shot selection. If Portland pushes the pace and forces Los Angeles into transition defense, they can exploit the Lakers' injury-depleted rotation. However, the Lakers' superior depth and late-game experience could neutralize that edge. Interior dominance will also matter. With Williams out, the Blazers' front court must hold its own against the Lakers' athletic forwards. Expect Los Angeles to emphasize paint scoring while Portland counters with perimeter volume, setting up a compelling clash of styles that could hinge on efficiency and composure in the final minutes. Ultimately, this matchup tilts toward the Lakers' favor. Analytics give Portland a narrow 56.5% edge on paper, but that projection likely undervalues Los Angeles' home court presence and veteran poise. The Lakers' improved defensive chemistry, coupled with steady offensive contributions from their bench, should outweigh Portland's high-octane but inconsistent attack. Unless the Blazers can rediscover defensive cohesion and get unexpected scoring from role players, the Lakers' balanced approach will prevail. Prediction: Lakers 122, Trailblazers 116. A competitive but controlled home win that cements Los Angeles as an early Western Conference force, reinforcing their growing identity as a well-rounded, confident team ready to contend. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Los Angeles Lakers winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box.